can only imagine the amount of abuse, right, I have put the Clifton Edge through. No need to imagine, I'll show you some of the clips. Having ran more than 100 kilometers in the Hoka Clifton Edge, I'm finally ready to review this shoe. I run on this shoe on many different surfaces and quite a various conditions, including mud, gravel, puddle, regular roads, you name it, I ran on it and really put this shoe through a lot. I even have to wash it once because it's really getting too muddy and too black. But surprisingly, it's quite easy to wash. Although it was one of the days, right, it was really black and filled with all the mud, all the dust, right. But just a simple hand wash, right, everything is white again, as good as brand new. So before I start the review, first of all, I'd like to thank Hoka One or One One, as some might say, for giving me the chance to try out the Clifton Edge. But of course, there's a disclaimer. Although I received the pair of shoes for free from Hoka, but I was not given any compensation to say good things about the shoe, and nobody will see the video before you do. So more than 100 kilometers ran in this particular pair of shoe, and straight out of the box, I'd like to share with you guys, I'm really happy with the shoe. So why am I happy with the shoe? Before I start analyzing and sharing with you the assessment of the shoe from head to tail, where's the head is here, head to tail, and I get this shoe out of the box initially, give me the impression that this shoe is really fun for running. The color choice of Hoka already provide a good first impression for me. Of course, Hoka compared to other brands, in my opinion, aesthetically, in terms of looks, right, it does not have the best looking shoes out there, but Hoka is not fighting for looks anyway. Again, right, as I shared in my other running shoes reviews video, right, the aesthetic look is not really important to me. But I would say Hoka, their design of the shoes is getting better and better. Pretty cool in this particular pair of shoes. So of course, the first thing that catch my eye, and probably will catch your eye too, is the particular size of the foam of the heel. And when I first wore it on my feet, for the first time ever, I realized that this shoe looks pretty huge. For me, as long as it is comfortable, it doesn't really matter. So some brief specs about the shoe. It is a 5mm drop and 8.9 ounce or 252 grams for size 9. And I couldn't believe how light it is. If you look at the size, right, if you look at it physically, you would thought it would be very heavy. With so much cushioning to protect a runner's feet, yet being so light is really heaven for runners. So first, let's talk about the heel counter. I would say the heel counter, as compared to other shoes, this is pretty firm, pretty hard. You see, I try to press it, but it's impossible to press. There are some shoes that's very squishy at the touch, but not this. And with additional cushioning internally inside the shoe of the heel counter, it provides all the stability that a runner needs. Especially for myself, right, as I lean towards overpronation, I will need all the stability I can get. And with so much foam at the back of the shoe, really ideally built for heel strikers who keep striking their heels when they run. And of course, if you strike your heel too much when you run, right, this will give you a lot of problems and may cause really serious injuries. And I am one of those runners who don't really enjoy running downhill. And running downhill can be kind of scary, right? Because of the amount of punch packed into the back, right? So when you run downhill, that is more often than not, right, you will strike on the heel a lot. The Clifton Edge gives you a peace of mind running downhill, but at the same time, even if you're running downhill at a high speed, you don't have to really worry about your feet not being protected well. Another unique thing about this shoe is the pull tab is gone. The pull tab that was available in the other Hoka shoe is no longer there, but they replace it with what they call the flat collar, which is here, help you wear the shoe more easily. It's not really restrictive, but also looks kind of cool. After talking about heel counter, let's talk a little bit about the toe box. People with wide feet should rejoice! This is one of the few shoes that provide ample, more than enough space for your toes to wriggle around. For myself, I don't really have extreme wide feet, and the amount of space I really appreciate it because it makes the fit so much more breathable. But despite the amount of space in the toe box, you don't really feel your feet sliding around in the shoes. And the Clifton Edge does a very good job in holding your feet pretty well. Next, let's talk about the upper. First of all, I'd like to talk about the tongue. The tongue is really unique in a way. It's really thin. The material is very thin. It's what they call the gusseted tongue. Initially, I was very worried because I was so used to having a type of tongue that provides so much more cushion. I was wondering whether this shoe will be able to hold my feet well with such a thin layer of tongue. In the end, I think I worry too much because I don't really feel any difference between this tongue and the tongue of my other shoes. Hoka has always designed their mesh very well so that especially when running in the hot countries like Singapore, our feet will not sweat too much. Really airy and breathable. And of course, the extra hole if you need a runner's knot. Okay, so let's move on to the insole. So when I first sink my feet into the pair of shoes, I first felt a very firm hole in the middle of the shoe, somewhere in the middle, holding my arch very firmly, which proves to be a heaven for me because I am prone to arch pain. So this additional hole not just provide more stability for me, but also give me the extra protection that I need. Next, the midsole is of course made out of EVA material. And what more can I say about the cushion of Hoka that I haven't said yet? Once again, Hoka has did its job really well for its cushioning. As you know, right, whenever you purchase a new pair of running shoes, our feet may need some time to adjust to them. Say the Clifton Edge is the pair of shoes that I don't really need much time to adjust to. The only shoe that adjusts faster than the Clifton Edge is of course the Hoka Arahi 3. That I have two pairs. Hoka and my feet are, I would say, is a match made in heaven maybe. So runners might worry being packed with so much cushion and comfort, will it compromise its speed? I've test run in this shoe for all the way from 4 minutes plus to 6 minutes plus per kilometer. The Clifton Edge might not be the fastest shoe out there, but it is also not the slowest. So packed with so much comfort and cushion, of course something have to give. But because of the Rockers technology, it also helps runner to save energy while also propelling you forward every step. So it seems like more and more running shoes are adopting the Rocker technology. If you are buying this shoe to walk most of the time, right, you might need some time to adjust to. It's a pair that you definitely want for your daily runs. One particular thing that you guys might know from my previous videos, right, you can't really run long distance in many of the neutral shoes out there. This shoe, straight out of the gate, 21 kilometers, no problem. Because for most runners with overpronation, not a lot of neutral shoes can fit you. If you manage to find one that does, hold it and never let go. And last but not least is the outsole. Looking at the tread of this shoe, you'll be able to see that what type of striker I am. I'm closer to the forefoot. Most runners, right, will not exactly be midfoot strikers, if you don't know. Some of it will be closer to the fore, some of it will be closer to the heel. But one thing I can confirm is I'm definitely not an extreme heel striker. As you can see, the extreme end of the heel where the bulk is still as good as new. In terms of running on trail and of course slippery surfaces, right, because recently it's been raining quite a lot, so I get a lot of chance to run this shoe on wet condition. So it is so far so good for me. In my other pair of Hoka, which is the Arahi 3, having ran more than 1,700 kilometers, I still feel very safe running on slippery surfaces. So the outsole, by the looks of it, seems to have wore out very fast. But Hoka has provided me the confidence of their shoes being able to last very long based on my past experience. So to summarize everything, long distance shoe, yes. Daily trainer, yes, definitely. Wearing this shoe for races, probably. Heel strikers, resounding yes. Faster shoe out there, definitely not. But it is definitely one of the most comfortable shoe I have ever worn. And because it does provide quite a bit of stability, overpronators like us have a chance to wear a pair of neutral shoes for long distance. The Clifton Edge is definitely on my running shoes rotation list. I would love to hear from you guys as well. Have you already tried the Clifton Edge, or do you plan to get a pair for yourself? Feel free to share in the comments below. So if you enjoyed today's review video, remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe and ring the bell for more running related content. That's all for today's review video, and remember to stay safe and keep on running.